Greetings everyone. So today I want to talk about some privacy issues that you might be dealing with your Amazon voice assistant. How you can adjust some of them by voice, how you can adjust some of them on the device itself, and how your data is being handled in the Amazon cloud. So let's cover that right after this. Okay, so we already know by now. If you don't know by now, then you should know by now that your voice assistant is recording your voice and sending it up into the cloud. And it's being stored there because it's used for improvement on the device and let her understand you more as far as learning how to respond to human interaction with her. Now, if you don't want your information to be stored in the cloud, then you can have it deleted by just saying a few commands. So you can tell her to delete what you just said. You can also tell her to delete all that you've said today, and you can also tell her to delete everything. And therefore, she's going to delete everything that you ever said that was sent up to the cloud. So the first command is going to delete everything in the last 10 minutes. When you say for today, then she's going to delete everything that happened today. And then everything is going to delete everything of all time. If your voice assistant is saying things and you wonder why in the world she said those things, you can ask her. You can say, why did you do that? Or you might hear the chime goes off and she didn't respond or anything, but it just goes on and off for no reason. And I know sometimes the commercials on TV might trigger it, but if you notice that she's doing things without you initiating it, you can ask her, why did you do that? And she should provide some type of short response to let you know why did she trigger the voice command chime, or she's saying things without you actually initiating. She should give you some type of explanation beyond that. If you're trying to figure out if she's actually hearing exactly what you said, you can ask her to tell you what she heard, which means that she's going to repeat the exact same recording of your request back to you, and you can know for sure if she's recording the exact same thing that you're saying. If you have the voice ID set up on your Amazon account, where everybody can be identified based on their voice, you can actually control your voice settings. So just ask her to update your privacy settings. As long as she hears your voice, then she's going to adjust your settings based on your voice ID. Now, if you don't have the voice ID set up, you can just ask her, how can I manage my voice recording? Okay, so now let's talk about some built-in privacy features. Now, one of the privacy features that I want to cover is the wake word. Now, the wake word is something that you can adjust. And you know, if you use the default wake word, then it's just going to keep on being triggered by various things. I've experienced it, and I've changed a lot of my wake words to another one on the list that's not so easily triggered. So you can go into the settings and change your wake word, which will reduce her actually listening all the time, because once she's triggered, the recording starts. And if you're having a conversation in a room, that can be part of the recording, which might be a privacy issue for you. So reduce her being triggered by changing your wake word. Now, if for some reason you want to be educated on what a wake word is, then you can ask her, what is a wake word? Now, you can get some information from her just to, I guess, ease your mind or to get some understanding. So you can ask her, how do I know if audio is sent to the cloud? And that way you'll know if your audio was sent to the cloud by her response. Now, each device has a way of turning off the microphone. And normally you'll see a red ring on certain device, and some device will have like a red bar at the bottom if you have the show devices. But each one of these devices have a way of turning off the microphones. Now, if you want to know how to turn off the microphones on your device, all you have to do is ask her, how do I turn off the microphone? And she's going to explain to you how to make that happen. Now, the next two has to do with data security. With all the hacking and security breaches and all that stuff that's going on these days, yes, we might be a little paranoid about our data. Now, your voice is data. Your information is data. Anything that you have is considered data. If you're curious about how the data is being handled, you can ask her. All you have to do is ask her, how do you keep my data safe? And then get an understanding of how your data is being handled. Now, to use these devices, we got to understand that we got to give to get. You have to give your voice to the voice assistant so you can get your request filled back. Now, in order for her to learn, that data has to be stored somewhere, and it's help with the AI that's built into her so she can learn how to recognize all these voices and understand human speeches so she can fulfill the requests that you ask of her. So if you want to know that how your data is being used, all you have to do is ask her, how do you use my data? And you will get an explanation of the voice data that you're given to the Amazon voice assistant that's being stored in the cloud. Okay, so those are the things you can try by voice, adjust on the device, and get an understanding of how your data is being handled in the Amazon voice assistant cloud. And you have control of your data. If you want to delete all of them all the time, just have them deleted. If you don't mind them and it doesn't bother you, then you can leave them stored up in the cloud. This is all part of using these devices. You'll have to give to get. So you have to give up a little privacy on your end to get the result that you want back, because that's the only way these devices is going to understand how you talk and what you want. And the request that you ask for helps the device learn, which helps the bigger brain, which is the cloud. But if you don't want your information to be stored in the cloud by your voice or any other voices that might get stored by accident when the device gets triggered, then just delete them so you can have some peace of mind. But you do have control. Just remember that. Controlling your data is all in your hands. So go ahead and try some of these things that I highlighted in this video so you can get a better understanding of how these voice assistant things is actually recording your voice and what it's being used for. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for taking the time for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.